Hey guys, it's Chris here from Carolette Miniature Horses. I am out at the barn this morning. I have given everyone their morning hay. Here comes Snuggles to say hi. I have fed Sweetheart over here behind me, who is telling Snuggles that she would like a little more space, please. So today we have the farrier coming this morning for our friend Clover there. His feet are a bit long, and because my horses were just recently trimmed a few weeks ago, as well as Snuggles. She was just trimmed about a week ago when she was at my friend's farm. So I went to get Clover's feet trimmed so that we can get him, there he is, hey Snuggles. I want to get him sort of on a schedule with everyone else. So that just makes everything a lot easier. The farrier should be here in probably the next hour. So now that everyone is eating, I'm going to do a little bit of picking to get on top of that. Today is a busy day for me. Not only do we have the farrier coming this morning, I'm going to go have lunch with my mom, which will be lovely. And then I have an off the farm lesson to give this afternoon. So once I kind of get the day going and once I step away, I won't be back until evening time when it will be time to give everyone their dinner. So, all right, guys. Well, I wanted to give you that little update. That's what we're up to today. And let me get to it. Being as Snuggles and Clover have both voluntarily come up here into the barnyard, and because I have the farrier coming in about an hour, I want to make sure that we're prepared so that we don't dilly-dally and waste anyone's time. So I have gone ahead and closed Snuggles and Clover into the barnyard. That way they'll be close, they'll be handy. Because they're such good friends, it'll be nice to have Snuggles close by. She'll be a good companion for Clover when he has his feet trimmed. It'll just help him to stand even better. I expect he's going to be a really, really good boy for the farrier. But it's just better to be safe than sorry, and having a buddy close by is always a good idea. So yeah, I've got these two guys in the barnyard. I've given them a little pile of hay, and that should keep them pretty happy for the next hour or so. And as soon as we're finished up with the farrier, they will then go back out into the bigger field with everyone else. So that's what I did here. If you should be wondering why they're kind of meandering, where's our little friend Snuggles, meandering around, they are just going to stay close by so that we can grab them as soon as the farrier arrives. So yeah, that was a little tip I wanted to share. Having a buddy is always a good thing when you have the vet or the farrier coming. Yesterday, I decided that because our newest friends here, Snuggles and Clover, were doing so well settling in with everyone else, I decided to go ahead and open up our stall doors, allowing them to have access to the stalls as a run-in. And so it looks like everyone did really well with that yesterday evening and overnight. I can see that we did have someone, or a couple of someones perhaps, come in, they use the stall. So that's a good sign, you know, if they're able to comfortably, oh, there's my little cat Bruce. If they're able to come in and use the stalls and get along and navigate those spaces, shared spaces, that's just another really good sign. So again, we're just a few days into integrating everyone, and with each day, it's just getting better and better. I wanted to show you Snuggles, a lot like Shenanigans. I'm gonna ask that she not do that. She is big into chewing on things. She will chew on the handles of my wheelbarrow if I step away. You saw her there kind of trying to chew on the pitchfork. She's itchy, so she's rubbing. That's not a big deal, but I would prefer her not to chew on my things. Here comes our friend Clover. She's also one to paw, you know, when she gets a little sassy or if she gets a little impatient. Sometimes she'll start to paw, but she is a chewer. She is quite young still, so hopefully she will outgrow some of those little habits of hers. But she's still new and she's still settling in and just figuring it all out. So that's our Snuggles here. Sweetheart just finished eating, and I've put her in the bottom with Shenanigans and Rockstar. And I have now gone one step farther to get ready for the farrier, and I have put Snuggles here and Clover into our two feedlots. We have these kind of oversized, they're probably close to 12 by 12. They're almost as large as our stalls. We have these two feedlots built into our barnyard, and we use them sort of as a holding pin. So if I have the vet coming or the farrier coming, or if I'm working with one horse and I want to have a companion, we use these 2 feedlots quite a bit. There's plenty of room for the horses to move around. I've even seen some of our guys lay down and roll in there, so they're pretty content hanging out in there until the farrier gets here. I'm not sure how many of you were able to watch the lunar eclipse last night. We set our alarm. We woke up, I think we woke up 3 times at maybe 1:50, about 2:30, and then again, maybe closer to 3:30. And so we woke up and we came outside here just in front of the house, and we were able to see the moon up over our clearing. Our property runs east-west, and so we get a lot of really good viewing time for the moon. And last night the sky was clear and the moon was overhead. It was almost directly overhead when we first came out, so we were able to have a really good clear view of it. Not sure what you saw where you are, but when we were watching it, we didn't see the redness that they were talking about with this particular lunar eclipse until the moon was almost entirely covered. When the shadow had come fully across the front of the moon, that was when it appeared to finally have a little bit of a rust color red hue to it. And so it was nice to see that. At first we thought, oh man, we're not going to see the redness. So we did finally see that on the 3rd time that we stepped outside. And when we set our alarm to come out a later time to see the eclipse on the tail end, we noticed that the cloud cover that you see behind me had already begun to roll in, and we no longer had a clear view of the moon. So we were very fortunate here. We were able to see the first half of the eclipse, and we saw the total eclipse. We just weren't able to see the second half. So that was really exciting last night. And hopefully wherever you are, you were also able to see the eclipse. We do love this property because we have a really wonderful viewing for the night sky. It's real dark around us, and when we turn our own home lights off, we can see the stars really, really well. And so that was just another treat that we were able to really view that eclipse here on the farm last night. I have finished picking the paddocks for now, and I'm just waiting on the farrier. I am sitting on the front porch so I can have a good view of when he pulls in. I just want to make sure that he pulls on down to the lower ring entryway and not up into the top of the driveway. Last time I had him come out, it was so muddy after all of the snow that we had had that there was no way he could pull down closer to the barn. And so I had him park up here in the graveled drive. But today the ground is much drier, and he shouldn't have any trouble pulling down into the grass ring area. I pulled a trailer through there less than a week ago. We haven't had any rain, so that should be good. And it's a good thing he's coming today, because with the cloud cover that has rolled in, we are expecting what could be some pretty good storms later on this weekend. I know other parts of the country are experiencing some severe weather starting today even. So I suspect that some of this cloud cover that we have might even be on the front end of this giant storm that is moving across the country right now. So it is a good thing the farrier is coming today while it's still dry out. And it's nice knowing that we have been able to open up our 2 stalls so that the 5 minis have plenty of room for shelter when the rains come in later on this weekend. We could have some wind attached as well. So it's just really nice knowing that they have plenty of places that they can duck into, and they're getting along pretty well these days. So I feel pretty comfortable knowing that that's our situation with the weather that's coming. So it's been a really good week, and I'm so glad that everyone has settled in, and we can really comfortably go about our business now. It's really important that horses have shelter, and when they have shared shelter, they have to be able to get along well enough so that no one gets hurt. Farrier just texted. He said that he is on his way, but he unfortunately had a flat tire, so he has stopped to change that. He'll be along shortly. I have come on into the house. It's a little chillier outside today than it has been the last couple of days. I'm still sitting here waiting for the farrier. I just got word he is back on the road. He's heading our way. And as I was inside for a little bit, the sun is just beginning to come out, which is nice. I've got a cup of coffee, so I'm pretty happy right now. I'm just sitting out on the side of our porch here, keeping an eye out for him so I can make sure he heads down to the bottom ring once he pulls in the drive. So, so glad he's on his way, and that means we can keep our day chugging along. Here comes our Farrier down the driveway now, so I'm gonna head on down to the ring and meet him. I just made my way back down to the barn for the Farrier, and I find that Snuggles here is laying down in the feedlot, taking a little rest. I have roused her, but she was down here getting a good long rest. I saw her while I was still inside the house, so hey, sweet girl. Hi, sweet girl. How are you? And Clover, he's over here keeping her company. We just finished up trimming Clover. You see him there in the background. The Farrier was really great. I really am very pleased with the Farrier I currently have. He's great with horses, really good horse sense, kind of the horse psychology side of things. He's just really smart around them. And I was talking to him about Clover having foundered quite severely a few years ago. And so, you know, we talked about the sugars in the grass and being really mindful that he doesn't eat too much, considering a dry lot, which is something I think we do want to work towards. He's doing well this week. He's still very comfortable on this little bit of minimal grass that we have. You can see there's just that little bit popping up, but it is there. He is still getting more sugar than might be ideal in the long run. And so before the grasses really take off, we do want to consider finding him a dry lot to at least spend a good portion of the day, if not be his permanent turnout. I just hate to separate him for the whole time. I'd rather him not be alone if at all possible. So, but again, what's best for him is first and foremost. So the Farrier looked at his feet, could tell that he had some laminitic changes. The coffin bone has rotated a little, and that occurred when he likely foundered severely in the past. So he's comfortable now, he's sound, but the Farrier was also saying that because of those laminitic changes, there's more pressure on the sole of his foot from the bone within. And when he starts to run around, if he steps on a rock or something, he could become more easily tender-footed from something like that. You know, a bruise is more likely for him than it would be for a horse who doesn't have that structural change that's taken place within their foot. But currently he's sound, he's comfortable, and our job now is to make sure that he does not have any more laminitic or founder scenarios. So that's a big task for us, but it's something that we are dedicated to taking up and being as vigilant and as mindful for his best interest as possible. So that was a good day. So glad the Farrier came out to see him. It's always nice to hear what he has to say. I'm just going to close the end of the ring gates now, and then the horses can have full reign of all three of our interlocking paddocks. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to finish my coffee, and then I'm going to head on down the road and have a late lunch with my mother, and then I will hopefully be back home 5:30, 6 o'clock this evening. It's a bit of a long afternoon, but a real productive morning. I'm so glad we were able to get Clover trimmed, and yeah, that was just very productive. I hope you enjoyed following us along today as we prepared for the Farrier and then our little follow-up. You know, I always enjoy hearing what a professional has to say, and I'm just so glad the Farrier made it out. So hope you enjoyed. Check back soon and talk to you later. Bye, guys.